No question about it. But tonight and today, to me, the biggest story, yes, nationally, it's the National Football League because they are $1 billion company. This is a graphic, Armstrong, on the young man from the University of Miami. We know about Nigel Pack, the kid from Kansas State, who is getting $400,000 once, next 2 years, $400,000 each year from an NIL, a billionaire who is a donor, a booster, a fan of the University of Miami. So Miami was pretty good last year. So now this story here from Jonathan Giovanni, Isaiah is this is a quote. So Isaiah Wong was one of the star players for Miami. Then all of a sudden, if you look at the bottom of Giovanni's first original tweet, is that if he doesn't get better or an increased NIL compensation, according to his agent, then he's thinking about maybe looking to enter the transfer portal, which the deadline, of course, is Sunday. So that was the original tweet on the bottom. Look at this quote. Billionaire John Ruiz told ESPN he has been treated by Life Wallet exceptionally well. If that is what he decides, I wish him well. However, I do not renegotiate. Surprises me because there are so many players that would love to play for the University of Miami. This right here, to me, if somebody in leadership, which we know there is nobody in leadership at the NCAA, and now they don't even have a leadership, the person, well, at least for the next year. If this doesn't scare the hell out of people, and not that it's going to change, but if this doesn't, if a lot of people weren't texting and calling each other last night on the phone when that quote came out, then this is never going to get under control. And it may never anyway. That right there, I talked to a college basketball coach, and it wasn't anybody from Baylor. I did reach out to a coach at Baylor, but they were like, this rocked our world. Everyone knows people are getting paid, but now a player, what happens mid-season? Somebody goes, I haven't done an NIL commercial in a while. I don't know if I want to play in that conference tournament in early March or next week or tomorrow. And it's a little bit dramatic, but that quote to me, that's all I thought about last night as I was monitoring the draft, how stunning that admission and also emphatic from John Ruiz said, hey, sorry, we don't renegotiate.
Well, I had a totally different reaction. My reaction was, yeah, that sounds about right. And, of course, it's Miami, and, of course, it's that Life Wallet lawyer because man, he has plastered himself all over Twitter, and I've seen more of him in the last week. And I didn't even know he existed, but now I kind of know who he is, and I am not surprised at all that it has to do with them and Miami. And, in relation to the Nigel Pack move here recently when they were openly flaunting the money that he was going to be receiving. And, you openly flaunt hundreds of thousands of dollars. Are you really surprised when somebody else on the team who's not making as much is suddenly going to want more? I'm not. Are you surprised that some kind of, Miami dude that wants to be involved and wants to have his face out there and wants to basically be the next Nevin Shapiro is right in the middle of this? I'm not. Is anybody surprised that, forget the school affiliation, that there's just some dude out there who's openly doing exactly what the rules state you're not supposed to do, even though the rules are very loose right now? I'm not. This is what everybody asked for. This is what everybody wanted.
I'm not surprised by what we have known. I'm surprised the guy was able to come out like that publicly. Like, you wouldn't even see an NBA agent say that about somebody.
Well, that's stupidity is what that was. Because now you're just openly throwing it out there that you are doing exactly what this is not supposed to be. Now, is there any laws or anything that's going to come back to haunt them?
Nope.
No, of course not, because it's the NCAA and it's college sports, and basically you break rules and you just go, oops, my bad, and you move on, or you threaten a lawsuit and then you just move on anyway. So it's all BS to begin with, and I'm sure nothing will probably even come from this. But yeah, this is just the ugly side of it that we knew was happening, and then there will be those who go, who cares? Just let them have money, and that's fine too. But I don't think those people are really fans of the feeling of college sports. And again, it's one of those arguments you have to get into like the weeds and get into the nitty gritty of it. I'm not a fan of college sports because players weren't getting paid. I'm a fan of college sports because of the camaraderie, the community, and what it means to towns. And I think that's being lost over just fistfuls of dollars. So the worst part of America, we are just saying, let's zoom on in that direction and let's just make everything as about money as possible and not about, actual human beings in life. And so if everybody wants to applaud that chaos and enjoy that, that's fine. I'll still be here covering it, but I think it really effing sucks.
Yeah, well, in fact, Daniel, that's effing ridiculous. From Darius, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Darius, for being a part of the show. Let's see if there's a couple of other. Phil Venzer, that the government has to get involved. And then, man, you think there's a lot more important things they should be trying to solve and get solutions and all that for? The bird whisperer, such a bullshit take. Why? Why is it? I'll show your message on the chat room. Why? Why is that a bullshit take?
Well, let him answer, and we can figure it out.
I'm going to wait for you.
Yeah.
And then money runs the world. We need a competent president to act up and fix the issues of the NCAA.
That's what I'm just saying is money runs the world. And so is it any surprise that this is becoming all about the money? And you can say, well, it was all about the money to begin with, and I agree with that. But I'm not going to – you can point out anything you want to, but I do think college sports, a lot of it is camaraderie. We live in a college sports town, around a college sports town. And that, to me, has always been kind of the most fun part. But I'm, if your thing's going to be about the money side of it and athletes don't deserve money, definitely nobody's saying that. But I think when you get into a situation where now these guys are basically, renegotiating deals on the fly and, just openly flaunting the NIL when that's not supposed to be what it's about. Yeah, I do think that's BS. I think that it sucks that there had to be somebody so quickly take it to a level where it gets to this point to where you now have a guy who's making $800,000 who suddenly has a transfer. I just think it's all messy and, good for the players to get their money. But if we're going to start having like holdouts and stuff because of a transfer came in and got new money or things like that, guys threatening to leave school, I'm not saying it's not right or wrong. I'm just saying it sucks. And if you think differently, fine. But I think that kind of sucks. And I don't really think my opinion is going to change on that. But, good for the players getting their money.
Bird Whisperer's response, kids can have a YouTube channel and profit, and you're worried about kids getting paid. He also had another response to that. We're not worried about it. If you have a regular job in college and you're a normal college student, you can make money. But if you're an athlete and generate money for schools, you're left to be poor. We never said they didn't deserve the money. We never said that. And so your take was lazy. And that's what the first thing we always hear when we bring up NIL. I'm not against the NIL. I think it's great. And the NCAA and schools are paying for it now because they were so stupid and so stubborn for so many years. I'm not against players being paid. This company has had NILs. The point is that it was not supposed to be an inducement. We know that people were cheating prior to that, but when somebody that pays somebody $400,000 for 2 years and then comes out and says to a student athlete, regardless of what you want to think about who should get money or not, that I'm not going to renegotiate, you don't even see, there's agents in professional sports that rarely get that into the headlines. And when they do, they're playing mind games with who they're trying to get more money from, Deebo Samuel. That's my point.
You didn't even need to go that far because the person clearly already missed the mark, and that's why I said the caveat about it's not about the players making money, it's about the situation itself. So, of course, that person's response was about us acting like the players shouldn't be making money. So you're already wrong. I figure you're going to be wrong. I figured that would be your wrong answer, and you confirmed that, so thank you. So just for the next person, this is not about the players making money. It sucks if you're a Miami fan that this is suddenly a situation where you had a pretty good team last year. You had a pretty good team coming back. Your NIL seems to be all up in a row. Hey, man, now you get Nigel Pack, but now you got a player threatening to leave because his money isn't good enough. And I just think that sucks. I think that sucks if you're a Miami fan. If you're Nigel Pack or you're this other kid, get your money. It's not about that. You morons keep going to that same point, and it's not about the guys getting money. It's about the adults involved, breaking rules left and right to feel like the big men on campus, and this sleazeball from Miami who's trying to – I don't even want to call him a sleazeball because that's not fair. He's just working his deals and doing all that, and he's standing his ground. So I take that back. But there is some sleaziness going on, and it's not the players receiving money. It's all the people involved in how the players are receiving money.
Yeah,
and it's turning into exactly what it wasn't supposed to be when they started this. Florida state law doesn't permit schools to to be involved in NIL deals, according to a Miami spokesperson, due to state law. It doesn't discuss or comment on NIL-specific deals. Pappas confirmed to ESPN he isn't speaking directly with the Hurricanes coaching staff. Do you think that for a second? Do you really believe the guy's just adding players to Miami's roster without speaking to the coaching staff? Like, hey, here's a couple extra. Well, coach, we don't have any more room left. How could he not be speaking to the coaching staff? But regardless of that, that's the point. Is that's what sucks about it, is just that there's a story like this that now Miami fans have to have headaches over. But again, good for the players. Good for the players. Good. Get your money. But I don't know. I just don't have a lot of free agency is cool. But one thing I like about free agency is there's some structure to it. But this, like every year free agency where I'm just happy I'm going to leave, or I'm not getting as much money, I'm going to leave, and there's nothing binding you. I just think while that's tremendous for the players, I just think for the schools and the teams and the coaches and all that, that's a major pain. And a lot of people go, so what? They've made millions all this time. And you're right. I'm just saying it's not right or wrong. I just think it's not great. It's not great for college athletics. If you disagree with that, fine, but don't come here with some BS like it's about players receiving money.
We never even were talking about the players. We were using them as an example of the story. We were talking about the guy with the NIL, not who he's actually paying or renegotiating with. So be careful and don't be lazy. All right, when we come back.